Hello and welcome to this video discussing how to multiply polynomials. To start with this, let's discuss multiplying monomials first. Notice that here is we have a mono, and here is also a mono. We know that because there's no addition or subtraction signs inside. If we had something like this, 5x plus 3, that's a binomial, and so on. But let's multiply monomials first. Really, the procedure when multiplying polynomials is that you're going to, step number one, multiply the big numbers together. So I would multiply like normal. 5 times 7, that comes out to be 35. And then with the small numbers, because we're applying exponent rules, we're actually going to add the smalls. 4 plus 11 is 15. So when multiplying monomials, all we're going to do is multiply the bigs and add the smalls. Killing me, smalls. Let's try one more. For example, if I had negative 3x to the 20th, and I multiplied that by 4x to the 8th, we would multiply the bigs, negative 3 times 4, that's negative 12, and add the smalls, 28. That's how we multiply monomials. Now we need to take it a step higher and multiply polynomials. So here is an example. We have a monomial being multiplied by a polynomial. Here we have a mono on the outside and then a 3-term polynomial inside. But the process is going to be the exact same. We're going to multiply the bigs and add the smalls, and in this problem we're going to need to repeat. We're going to actually repeat 3 times because this polynomial on the this mono is going to get multiplied to everything on the inside. Basically we're doing distribution. And when we distribute, we're going to take the mono times the mono each time. So let's try it. 5x cubed times 2x to the 7th. We multiply the bigs, that gets us 10, and then with the smalls, we add them, 10x to the 10th. Now I'm going to take this 5x cubed to this one. We multiply the bigs, 5 times 4 is 20, and add the smalls, 3 plus 3 is 6. Then we're going to multiply the 5x cubed to the last number. We're going to multiply the bigs, that's negative 10, and add the smalls, it would be x to the 5th. That's how we multiply a monomial times a polynomial. Let's try one more. Let's say we had 3x to the 7th, and we wanted to multiply that by 5x to the 11th minus 4x to the 7th plus 3. Again, we're just going to distribute this monomial into each of the values inside the polynomial. Multiplying these two together, we multiply the bigs, 3 times 5 is 15, add the smalls to get 18. Then this outside one to the middle one, I'm going to do 3 times negative 4, that's negative 12. We multiply the bigs and add the smalls. And then this outside value, when we multiply those together, we get 9x to the 7th. The same thing happens when we do polynomials of bigger design. Here we have a binomial, and we're going to times it by this trinomial. And again, we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to take everything from the first polynomial and multiply it into the second polynomial. In this case, I like to sometimes call it super distribution because we're going to distribute multiple times. So I'm going to start with the 2x and distribute it into the second polynomial. When I do 2x times 4x squared, I multiply the bigs. 2 times 4 is 8. And with the smalls, we add. So here was 2, and above this x is a 1, so we would have 8x cubed. Then I'm going to take the 2x into the second value, multiply the bigs. That's negative 6x squared when we add the smalls. And then I'm going to take this 2x times the last term and distribute it in and get 4x. So that's what happened when we distributed the 2x in. Now I need to distribute the 5. This 5 also needs to get distributed into the polynomial. So 5 times 4x squared, well, we multiply the bigs, 20, and add the smalls. Since the 5 doesn't have any exponents, it's just going to be x squared. Here we get negative 15x, and 5 times 2 is plus 10. In this situation, we do need to add a 4th step to our procedures. And that fourth step is that it is possible that you'll need to simplify. In this polynomial, now this does not happen with everyone, but simplify if possible. We want to add to the procedure list because here we do have some things that can be combined. Let's see, nothing combines with 8x cubed. But x squareds do have some things that combine. Negative 6x squared plus 20x squared would be plus 14x squared. We can add these x's together. 4x minus 15x is minus 11x plus 10. And that is how we multiply polynomials. Multiply the bigs, add the smalls, and then repeat if needed as you do the distribution, and simplify at the end. Okay, so now it's your turn to try 5 problems where you need to multiply polynomials together. In number 1, you'll just do a mono times a mono. In number 2, you're going to do a mono times a 4-term polynomial. Then you'll do a couple polynomials that have binomials and trinomials in it. Go ahead and pause the video and work with our 4 procedures to solve these problems. When you're ready to check your answers, press the unpause button and we'll see how you did. Okay, it's time. Let's do it. When I'm multiplying 2 polynomials together, I'm going to multiply the bigs. So negative 4 times 7, that's negative 28. And then with the smalls, we add 9 plus 11 is 20. So that's our answer there. That was an easy one to start off with. Okay, on this one, we're going to need to distribute. So this value is going to distribute into the parenthesis. So we're going to multiply the bigs, 6x, and with the smalls, we add 16th. Then I multiply this outside one with the next one. Negative 5 times 2 is negative 10. X to the, don't forget, you add the exponents. We multiply the bigs, add the smalls. Plus 2 times 2 would be 4x to the 8th. And then I got to multiply it all the way down here to this last one. The number in front here of this big, in front of this is a 1. So it's 2 times 1, that's 2. X to the, add the smalls, would be to the 7th. That right there is our answer to number 2. Okay, great. On number 3, we are going to do the same thing. I'm going to start with the 2x and distribute it in. So 2x times x is 2x squared. And 2x times negative 7 would be negative 14x. Okay, now that was doing the 2x. Now I need to do the next one. I'm going to do the 5. So the 5 and the x would be 5x, and the 5 times negative 7 would be negative 35. On this one, we do need to apply procedure 4. We can simplify. I can combine these x's together. And so my final answer is going to come out to be 2x squared minus 9x minus 35. I added those 2 middle x's together, negative 14x plus 5x. Okay, great. On number 4, same thing. We're going to take this and multiply it in. I get 6x squared. Multiply that in, minus 15x. Ooh, it wouldn't be x squared. Hope you guys caught my error there. This is x squared and this is an x, so it's x cubed. 3x times negative 5x would be negative 15x squared because we add the exponents. And then the 3x times 11 would be plus 33x. Now let's take the 1 in. 1 times 2x squared would just be 2x squared. 1 times negative 5 is negative 5x. And 1 times 11 is plus 11. I think there is some simplifying here. Nothing combines with this, but we do have some x squareds that combine. Negative 15 plus 2 would be negative 13x squared. And these x's combine as well. Plus 33 minus 5 would be plus 28x plus 11. Sometimes these get messy, and you will want to make sure you have lots of room to write. I'm kind of running out of room here. Hopefully you have a little more room than I do to write each of these out. Number 5. Same thing. This is a binomial and a binomial, so I'm going to go ahead and multiply these values together. 2x, I multiply the bigs, so that's 6. Add the smalls, that's x to the 4th. Then 2x squared minus 5, that'd be negative 10 x squared. And then this plus 5 times a 3x squared, that's going to be plus 15x squared. And the 5 times the negative 5 is minus 25. Last, combine our middle terms here. I get x to the 4th, negative 10 plus 5x squared. That's plus 5x squared minus 25. Again, ran out of a little room there, but hopefully you're able to see it and get the answer. That is how we multiply polynomials. Again, multiplying the bigs, adding the smalls, and if we have lots of terms, we're going to just do that multiple times over and over again. Thanks for watching.